Another day, another thought. Welcome, guys. Welcome all to another edition of the Double Thought Show, where we discuss various topics, tackling them from different perspectives, and of course, in an objective way, or at least as objective as possible. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm RJ, and this is my co-host KR. KR, what's up, man? Another wild week.
Yes, another wild week indeed. I want to interrupt you. There's something wrong with your mic, by the way. You sound very.
Something wrong with my mic.
Yeah, I don't know what's really if it's the correct mic or not, but
Right.
struggle streaming already.
Struggle streaming already. Let me check it out. Yeah, man. But
Yes,
in the
but anyway,
meantime,
in the meantime, yes, another wild week. There is a lot of stuff happening. You have the World Cup going on and very interesting, let's say, results coming out of these games. And well, my predictions have been wrong so far. I'm doing very bad, to be honest. In my competition, we have a group where I'm a part of the prediction. I predicted a couple of games, and I'm from the 34. I'm not, right now number 34, so I'm doing very bad. In the past, I used to be the number 2, 1, so I never go past number 4 at the end results. But right now, this is the worst I've been. To give you guys an example, we have a clip of a team, or at least the fans of a team that won a recent game. It was very interesting to see them win this game. It went totally the opposite side. But let's take a look at this clip real quick.
Where is Messi? Messi down. Messi down. Messi down. Where's Messi down? Anybody see Messi? Where is Messi? Where is Messi? Congratulations. Thank you so much. Messi, Messi down. Where is Messi? Where is Messi?
This is when you have one of the best players ever, and then the trolls come out, and the Saudis were trolling the hell out of Messi.
Yes.
Anyway, that's my view of this past week. I mean, there's a lot of things happening as well. We will discuss them during the show, but I wanted to give a shout out to Saudi Arabia for that win, unexpected win, and also a win that put me at the bottom. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Is it different now?
Much better.
It's much better. Okay. That's strange because it's the same. It's the same mic, but
okay.
And I'm
Somehow
glad.
it sounded really.
Yeah. Well, this will change in 2 weeks, guys. In 2 weeks, we have a great update coming up. So
Yeah.
look out for that one. Where as
Christmas
you know,
came early.
Christmas came early. Yeah, man. No, guys. Hope you are all doing well. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a lot to get into in today's show, and we are focusing on the theme of today. You guys see the title of this stream. Are your actions conflicting your vision and leading you up a blind alley? Thanks to everyone who's watching the live show and, of course, the rebroadcast. Let's see if everything's working correctly, so we don't struggle stream anymore. If you guys can hear us, put some ones in the chat so we know that you're following us, and that way we know that we're not doing this show only for ourselves.
Yes.
We just want to make sure that you guys don't miss out on anything.
Yeah, guys, remember to like, follow, and subscribe on the YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We post daily throughout the week on YouTube. The best clips we had, best parts of the show. Guys can rewatch them. This has been going pretty well, I have to say. Would you agree, RJ?
Yeah, I think so.
People are reacting to it.
Hey, we got some ones in the chat. Thank you, Mrs. Steph Keys 21. Yeah, definitely people are reacting. We are hey guys. So we need your support. You guys are supporting us pretty well. We are moving faster than we thought with regards to the amount of watch hours.
Yeah.
So definitely thank you all for supporting us. What's more challenging to us at this moment is to get the subscribers up. So people are watching the show, but I think KaiR, they're still doubting whether or not they have to commit. You know, nowadays people have commitment phobia. So commitment issues. But guys, if you could share this channel to people who might be interested in topics like these, and ask them to subscribe, it would mean the world to us. We are trying to get this. This is at this point in time, KaiR and I, we are basically having, this is basically a second let's say job. Doesn't seem like a job at this moment, or if it is, we have very bad we have terrible employers. The work conditions are terrible.
Yeah,
But guys,
yeah.
we're really looking to see how far we can take this show. So we greatly appreciate the support you have been giving us, and we kindly ask that you keep doing this in the future as well.
Maybe SBF can sponsor us.
Well, I'm not looking to go that route. You'll probably do it with tokens.
Guys, we
Guys.
talked last week about SBF. SBF is Sam Bankman Fried
Or fried
fraud.
or fraud.
I was seen in on it was a pretty good show. We discussed a lot of stuff about how everything happened. What are the key moments in this whole scandal, financial scandal, and maybe we will do a rerun and go back and rewatch or rediscuss the topics again in a few weeks to see where we are, where is Sam? Either he's locked up or walking out free. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
No.
Who knows? But yeah, go watch it, guys. Great show.
Yeah, go check it out, guys. And of course, before we proceed with the content, with the let's call it a quote, the serious part of the show, if we can call it that, the disclaimer, the usual disclaimer. Guys, as you know, we are not financial advisors nor life advisors. For the purpose of this show, the purpose of this show is purely to provide entertainment and to share thoughts and opinions with each other. And that means that we share it with you guys, but we really appreciate it when you guys share your thoughts and opinions with us as well. Because as you know, we try to be as objective as possible, and the best way to do that is by interchanging thoughts and ideas. Guys, for personal financial advice or life advice or any kind of advice you might need, we strongly urge you to seek out the respective professionals in the area of your needs that can provide you tailor-made advice and with tailor-made assistance.
Yes. Thank you for that, RJ. Yeah, as usual, we have a standard segment in this show. The segment is the random thought of the day. Basically, where RJ and I discuss thoughts we had, or things we have seen, or things we think would be interesting to discuss in a small part of this show.
Yeah.
Unrelated to the show itself. So usually we do RJ as first and myself as last, because according to RJ, I'm the most dangerous one of the two.
Reckless.
I think reckless. Okay, maybe reckless is the right way. I'm like I'm the Sam Bankman Fried of the show. Reckless with the money, reckless with my words. But
Yeah.
I want to ask RJ to please share your random thought of the day.
Thanks, KR. Today's random thought of the day, I'd like to talk about the importance of finding a quiet place structurally in your life. Because I've noticed, KR, we live in a world where things are moving fast, developments are moving fast, internet is getting faster, information overload is a thing. And in the past, it was difficult to get information, or you needed to have like access to the libraries, access to perhaps the right type of people. But nowadays with social
Ability
media,
to read.
yeah, well then you're going a bit more back then. you, you, you went a bit farther down the road, but
Continue, please. Continue.
yeah, but nowadays it's the opposite. There's an information overload, and due to the information overload, it's difficult to find a quiet place, or to rephrase it differently, whereas in the past quiet was the norm, now it's the exception. You need to actually work to get your quiet, to get to the quiet place. And what do I mean with the quiet place? I mean a place where a place and time for yourself, so you have time to recharge. You don't have time to, so you can actually focus on yourself. Well, I don't want to, I'm going to use a word that I don't usually use, but it's very popular nowadays. They say self-care. But it's definitely very, very important to do that. Because, guys, at the end of the day, no one really cares about you more than you. Or at least no one should care more about you more than you. So oftentimes we want to we don't want, so we are, and I got this in a course I followed, a very expensive course, by the way, very expensive course, but the information was very valid. We are oftentimes ready to help others but not ready to help ourselves, and what ends up happening is that we can push ourselves to a limit, to where our body will have to slow us down in one way or the other. So guys, don't let it get that far. Don't let your body, don't leave it up for your body to tell you where the limits are. If you feel like you are tired, if you feel like you are pushing too much, just say no to obligations towards other people for a particular point in time, so you can focus on yourself. Your body and your mind will thank you for it. KR, that's my random thought of the day.
Interesting thought of the day, RJ. Thank you for your random thought of the day. Guys, please like the video. Very important to like the video. It will help us with the algorithm. I see that we already have one like. So I want to thank you for that. That helps us to get higher in the recommendations. And also, please keep watching. We have a very good show for you for today. As RJ already said, this show will be about the conflicting actions versus your vision and how that is leading you up a blind alley or the end of the road. In this show, we will discuss that by looking at three examples where choices are made or actions may lead to conflicting or a conflict in your vision. We will discuss the Balenciaga problem what happened last week with their campaign, their 2023 campaign they started, which stranded really early. We will discuss this with a part of the show of Joe Rogan. As you might have noticed that we watch a lot of Joe Rogan, or at least we keep an eye out on Joe Rogan. We think he's a very interesting podcast host, and with someone who has a very good podcast, which aligns with our vision as well, about having people from different platforms and have a wide variety of thoughts and discussing thoughts in an open platform.
Yeah. And a lot of mainstream media channels are jealous of him, so they try to portray him as something that is not.
That is not, yes.
That is not, because every show the shows are very objective. He talks with different types of people. But if you listen to CNN and those type of channels, they always try to bash him just because he gets more. He gets more. Yo, he gets more views than them with probably a lower overhead, way lower.
How do you mean probably? Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. The thing is, he asks questions, and that's what
Yeah.
we like. He doesn't have already a agenda in mind to either corner you as a guest. Just you're gonna sit there, and you're gonna get fair questions, and not a. It's not a hit job, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's one of the we will discuss that show. Danny Brown, who visited that show, and he discussed his vision or his actions relating to his career. And last but not least, we will discuss a frequent guest, or at least a frequent topic to our show, Kanye, who
And easy.
can Ye,
Yay.
as he goes by these days. We should, well, you cannot tag him as a Ye right now. You can only use Kanye, but maybe we should use him as Ye from now on. He might be announcing his presidential run later today. So we will discuss that and his visit to Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago, yeah.
So yeah, guys, let's start with Balenciaga. And in order to do that, we will discuss first of all, or at least not discuss, we will check a clip out of a couple of weeks ago, which we discussed already, relating to Lex Fridman. Lex had Kanye as a guest, and Kanye had a couple of things he wanted to say about Balenciaga. I'm going to play it, and then we're going to continue to what happened to Balenciaga this week.
Thank you. But okay,
Play that at the club.
So the other thing about like Balenciaga is Demna will work with Ye someday, and for Cedric and for Francois Pinot, and Salma is a beautiful human being. 5 years from now, you'll hear and know the name Ye and know things that we did, and Balenciaga is not going to make it onto your questions. Would you, as a gambling man, would you bet on that?
I would bet on that. Just see it in your eyes. Let me
so,
ask you.
So it was sad. It was actually a sad day for me, not for me, but more for Balenciaga. I just, when I heard that, I was just like, oh, shame.
Let me ask you a silly question, just about Demna. I read something that.
So that's what Kanye said, like 4 weeks ago.
About a month ago, yeah.
A month ago, yeah. About a month ago, he said that. Little did we know that
Because
Kanye might be.
Because he said 5 years, right? 5 years.
But it's a step-by-step process. You gotta start somewhere, right? And it seems like Balenciaga heard him saying it and thought that Kanye is saying a prophecy, and they thought maybe we should bring that prophecy into life. Because what happened, guys? This past week, Balenciaga came into the news for their marketing campaign for the 2023 collection they are going to release. This campaign had children in them.
Yeah.
And you think children? Yes, children. If I say children, you would think that's nothing wrong with children. But they didn't only had children. They had These children were photographed in the campaign with a teddy bear. The teddy bear had a BDSM clothing or characteristics on them. And that has led to a huge backlash. To me, when I saw these pictures, first thing I thought was, who in their right mind thought this was a good idea? From a marketing perspective, you would say you always try to search for the boundaries. I mean, always marketing. When you're doing a marketing campaign, you always try to search for boundaries, but at a certain point, you have to know what the boundaries are and know that if you're associating kids with certain, let's call it
Lifestyle.
lifestyle, yes, that's not a good thing.
No.
There are boundaries you don't cross. And, well, I guess they found out what that boundary is. I mean, it makes total sense. Every right-thinking person would thought you're not gonna go there. Technically, these days, if you want to shock, you have to go anti-shock, because marketing or the culture we're in has pushed the boundaries so far that a lot of things are not taboo anymore. And when you try to push the boundaries, at a certain point, you have to go the other way, because there is a point where you say, people will say, no, this is too much. And I think on this side, we have reached that point, which you already could have known if you, like I said, if you're a person of a right thinking mind. And that has led to a lot of pushback. You've heard about this, RJ?
Yeah, I did. And my first reaction, I was repulsed. Made me think of the Netflix show. There was this Netflix show too. I think it was last year, about 2 years ago, about kids dancing in
yes, the French movie.
that to me it's repulsive to think, just the idea that a bunch of adults, grown people, would actually think of doing something like this, and not and publicly as well. It's
Publicly and behind the closed door. I mean,
well behind closed, so it's repulsive either way. But to have the audacity to
yeah,
go public with it in such a large scale. You know how much money goes into the production of a show like that Netflix show, or just in the photography, because Balenciaga wouldn't hire just a random photographer from off the street. So it's just repulsive to think that is happening on such a large scale. Now you might think, hey, maybe Kanye
was right.
The
first phase.
First
5
thing
years, guys. We okay, I guess we have a topic for the next 5 years. We'll see. We have to put a point, like, did it happen?
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, guys, and like I said, there has been a lot of backlash, and we are talking about two separate campaigns. You have a campaign with kids, and you have a campaign with the Adidas Balenciaga collaboration with a a bag in it, and it's the papers. So I can show you this one. Let me share my screen. This is the second part. So the one with the kids, you guys can search them up yourself. We're not gonna show it in this show. Please search it up. But this is the second part. This is a picture on the surface. It seems like a regular picture, but when you zoom in on this text, it refers to a case, which is also related to. We cannot use that word because of reasons. YouTube, how can you say,
They might-
block the show or whatever how you want to call it, but it refers to a specific topic that child. Dot 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 dot. It's a case that was in court, which identified certain people of certain things. Also, that one has had a backlash, so it's double, and we have a video of Clarkson Lawson, who will be basically breaking down what is actually happened. And may I share my screen? Can I open it up? Okay, so let's hear what this is one of the reaction, and he has 500 views on this
500,000.
reaction alone. 500,000, sorry, 500,000. Yes, almost 600. So it's gaining a lot of traction. So let's listen what Clarkson has to say about this.
There is a lot happening with Balenciaga right now, and it literally just keeps getting worse. So if you're unaware, Balenciaga, the big brand, released an ad featuring children holding teddy bears that were dressed in bondage. Now, for good reason, this sparked outrage because it's completely inappropriate. But what this did was it opened up the Pandora's box of how completely grotesque this company is. When you dig deep into their other product advertisements, there are subtle hints of pedophilia and child exploitation in almost all of them. If you think this is just a picture of a Balenciaga bag, you're wrong, because down here, there's a reference to a court case that was ruled in favor of virtual child you-know-what. Oh, but that just might be a coincidence. Now, while you may want to believe that's true, do you know how many eyes are on product placement for a brand like Balenciaga? Not to mention, there's more. This picture here might just be somebody sitting at their desk in New York City, right? Wrong. What are these books here? Who is Michael Borman, and why is his book featured in a Balenciaga ad? It must be a good book. Wrong. It's a book that depicts child exploitation. There are horrific depictions of nude children in this book that Google can't even show them. Now, I know this is a lot to take in, but we're still not done. This photo here, he's got a nice outfit on, good-looking model. But who is this here? John Philip Fisher. Couldn't be the same man that was accused of molesting his granddaughter at 4 years old. Now, I know I'm going to get called a conspiracy theorist for this because we already are. Multiple news outlets are saying that this Balenciaga issue is a wild conspiracy theory. But if it was a conspiracy theory, why would Balenciaga apologize for it? They literally issued a statement apologizing for their photo shoots. So clearly this is not a conspiracy theory since Balenciaga admitted fault. But you see, an apology, it isn't enough. We know how many eyes are on product placement. We need to know why this was allowed. And don't confuse this for cancel culture. This is children that we're talking about.
I mean,
I would
if
say
this is
he's on point.
he's on point. I mean, if this is a conspiracy theory, so then we're living in an upside down world.
I mean, that's how they mark everything these days, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to discredit it, but KR, why? Okay, let me ask you this: the product that they want to sell was the bag, and so I'm gonna take the bag for a minute, for Justin for a minute. So the product that they want to. So can you pull up the picture? Yeah, thanks. So the product is the bag.
Yeah.
Now, let's really do some conspiracy theory here, and this would be in the benefit. Let's try to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Let's assume that originally they just wanted to take a picture of the bag, and they did, but they thought, there were some things missing, and they looked around in the office and just grabbed some random papers that were there and just put them on the table to create, let's say, the background for the bag. Let's assume that that's the case. What is the court case, that specific court case, doing there in the first place? Or let's talk about the woman who had her legs on the other model that the guy showed in the video, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say that they were in that space taking a picture, and a bit more, I think. Yeah. And let's just say that the model was taking a picture. Yeah. And they just rented that space. What is that book doing there in the first place? And one incident can be a coincidence. But there were various, here you go, another one. Various questionable writings, background information, books, etc. in that picture about
Yes.
child, you know what? That's not a coincidence anymore. And for major media companies to call that a conspiracy, that makes me doubt their legitimacy even more than I actually do now.
Yeah. It is crazy. It is crazy. If you even think about it, would you say they are tone deaf at this point? I mean, are people just writing random stuff as response to stuff like this these days? Because it seems like more and more people are brain dead when they respond, or these media companies create articles about certain stuff. Because, like, it's for me, it's I cannot believe the fact that they really thought this was a good idea, to write in defense of.
Yeah.
Some things you cannot defend.
I think that well, definitely you can say that I don't think they're tone deaf. Let me put it that way. I do think that, listen, capitalism is a very good system, or at least it's the best system we have. I don't care what anyone says, it's the best system we have. But in capitalism, it's people with money who rule, and they have more power and influence. So we can whine about it, or you can try to get there. And those are the two options. But with regards to the mainstream media, they call it conspiracy. But if I am let's say a multi-billionaire, and I have 5 different media companies or at least which I'm the majority shareholder of, and I have a lot of influence in those companies, do you think that I will let them talk bad about me? Do you not think that if I want for them to push a narrative, I would just call them and say, hey, push this? It's not conspiracy. It's just the way it is.
Or you have ads running on all of them.
Or I have ads run, yeah.
And then, well, that's a good question. Do these companies have ad contracts with Balenciaga?
And that's one way to go. The other way to look at it is that the media. So this is just the one we caught. Makes you wonder how many other examples there might be out there of commercials, not to use the word propaganda, with hidden messages that are not caught by someone, that are not identified, which consequently means that these messages get absorbed by us without us ever knowing it.
Yeah, I mean, guys, the same thing. We are deviating a little bit from the main topic, but to also discuss relating to certain topics being covered in a very weird way. Last week we had this show talking about Bankman Fried and the whole FTX drama, and well, certain media had this to say about that. When Sam Bankman-Fried crypto's empire went down in flames, so did his plans to save the world. That was from Wall Street Journal. When Sam Bankman-Fried's plans to save the world went down in flames. Those are two separate. Another thing they also released on paper. FTX collapse wiped out founders' philanthropic aims. I mean, what are we talking about? People lost billions, and you're talking as if this guy had he might have had a great idea, but he was also a fraudster. How would you know? How would you know that his philanthropic aims were actually true?
Yeah.
But hey.
And his philanthropic aims, if he actually had philanthropic aims, should not be the essence of the post.
Yeah.
It should be the fact that he defrauded a lot of people.
Allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah, so let's go back to the main story. There have been a lot of responses to this on Twitter as well. We had shortly Hardfast basically discussing this. You had even people saying it's the front page. It's the front page on their website. Scared, confused, little girls on beds with toys dressed with blah 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 fetish gear. This photo shoot must have been through dozens of people before being placed front of the house or front house. Didn't any of them think it was wrong? Not one. Even Mike Senovich, maybe some people don't know him. He has about 1 million followers on Twitter. Mike has been more of a right-wing commentator in the past. These days, I'm not sure what he does, but he also shared his view on the paper, and he's basically saying the same thing as Lawson said in his video, referring to the case and putting everything in context. I mean, this and like mentioned in the video, Balenciaga issued a apology. By the way, they also wiped out every picture on their Instagram post. Every picture. Only thing you can see now is the statement and a couple of other stories they have pinned on their page. Mind you, this picture was shared with 14.4 followers. So imagine, like mentioned before, the reach they have, the influence they have. Let's look at the statement in full. We sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bag should not have been featured with children in this campaign. We should have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms, which they didn't do, by the way. It took a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if the media isn't tone deaf, Balenciaga definitely is, or at least part.
Yeah. I mean, that should be priority number one at Balenciaga. They should have just stopped their. So what? Of course, they should have stopped with their Kanye bashing campaign to limit the damages, but they didn't act as fast as they should have.
Well, they were bashing Kanye. What did you say?
Yeah. Well,
they were.
They were bashing Kanye basically, right? So it's all Kanye this, Kanye that, but they should have focused more on the shoot. Yeah, on their own problem, because their house is on fire. Their house was on fire.
Hey, you gotta move the attention to something else, I guess. But
that's so. But hey, that seems like conspiracy-ish to me. That's a joke.
We apologize for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign. This is the second one. This is about the second one. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our Spring 23 campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being. Well, I guess. Not sure if it's a tactical thing, but they also left a couple of other, like I said, stories up about their human right of choice, which we discussed later. Women's rights. They left women life freedom. Balenciaga supports United 24 platform for helping refugees. T-shirt was created, of which 100% of the net profits will be donated to the rebuild of Ukraine. They left all of this up. Just so you know. Just so you know.
To blind you.
We stand against racism. Don't forget that one.
Yeah. Of course, they would let it up so they can try to push the fact that they are. So they want to convince you that they do indeed care about human rights, and you. So let's say as
Moral,
someone,
no, continue, sorry.
yeah, and as someone that is let's say if you are feminist and they write something like that, you'd be more inclined to say, okay, yeah, maybe it's a mistake because you can relate to what they're fighting for. You know, the Ukraine, you can relate what they're fighting for. So they try to
LGBTQ,
they try to blindside you, basically.
refugees.
Alphabet people.
They have human rights, refugees, World Food Program. Just as a reminder, we made a mistake, guys, but don't forget, we also do this.
Well, it makes me think of Dave Chappelle's skit. I don't remember if you the one where he talked about superhero. The superhero, he did a lot of good things, but he just had one bad. He just had one flaw, and that is that he grapes people. So he saves more than he grapes, but he does grape. So
Oh my god! Oh my god!
so it's the same with this one. Like you do more than you do. Let's say a lot. Let's say you do a lot for all these causes. Might be true, but you do this as well.
Yeah, yeah. You made a mistake, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops.
How did he say? Oops. Last week. Oops.
Oops. Yeah. Oops.
That might be something we have to repeat every show. Oops.
Oops. Yeah.
So let's continue. The other things that were mentioned. Bella Hadid deleted her post promoting Balenciaga. Bella Hadid is a high fashion A-list model, would you say? And she basically removed herself from. For now, you know, you until the commotion dies out, then she probably put it up again. But for now, it's been removed just to separate yourself from the negative, I guess, PR for the time being. But others just kept going. I mean, Nicole Kidman put up her part. It's I mean, other than that, what else happened? Balenciaga, like I said, apologized for this, for both of the pictures. People started harassing the photographer of the pictures. Well, harassing the photographer of the children picture. The other one is not. It's not clear who took that picture, but or who put the set up, created the set. But the one for the children was being harassed, and basically, he said that he's not the one responsible for it. He just got a job and did it. I don't, as he says, I must stress that I was not entitled in whatsoever manner to neither choose the products nor the models. As photographer, I was only and solely requested to lit the given scene and take the shots according to my signature style.
Okay. Okay. I wouldn't have used that stuff. Okay.
Well, I guess his signature style is the way. I haven't watched his pictures, but I guess it's more sterile kind of thing. But someone approved this. Someone approved this in campaign within Balenciaga. So it must have been through multiple stages of approval. We always talk about corporate structures. We have talked about this in a couple of shows already. In a corporate structure, nothing goes by without certain approvals. The budget should be approved. The content should be approved. It's not like someone is saying is going rogue and creating a campaign and put whatever they want to in it. But yeah, it's and Balenciaga said that they were not going to sue the person that is going to who did the pictures. So they basically by not doing so they confirm that that side has been on them.
Yeah.
The other one, they are going to at least sue or at least take legal actions against. I don't know what kind of legal actions, but we'll see later. We'll hear at a certain point. Even the children's father have been chiming in, saying the kid has had a wonderful time. Father
Oh my.
said it has been taken out of proportion and it was an enjoyable day out. He said photographer Gabriel Gilamberti was innocent of any wrongdoing. The girl was in plush bear handbag collection shoot of the fashion brand.
Terrible.
Well, you gotta understand as well. You gotta understand that that's
He's
angle.
getting, he's getting the money from the photo shoot. Yeah.
You gotta understand the angle. I mean, even though he might think it's repulsive, I mean,
Yeah.
the kid is a model at the end of the day, and he cannot. This might cost him. If he bashes the brand, it might cost him future projects. Not saying it's a good thing, but I can understand.
Yeah.
At a certain point, also as a dad, you have to have some morals. But
Yeah.
these days, people will put morals.
On
They
the
will put
side
morals
for
behind
they'll
for
go for the other
trinkets.
M. Yeah.
For trinkets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's what Double Thought Show is for. We discuss things as objective as possible. What else happened? So we talked about Bella Hadid. In order to assess, are the actions conflicting their vision, and is it leading up the alley that Kanye predicted? We will look at, of course, the vision, or at least what they want to reach.
Yeah.
This is a article that was written by CPP Luxury Business of Luxury in 2018. And they quote the CEO Cedric Charby of Balenciaga. There is a new way to be luxury brand today. And I'm pleased to represent all the brands that feel that being luxury is no longer about heritage, craftsmanship, and creativity. A luxury brand today is about, of course, the heritage, craftsmanship, and creativity, but it's also about values, what we believe in, and what we stand for. And what are these values then, you might ask? They talk about on the website about a lot of social causes. But before we go to their website, I want to highlight the last part of this highlighted article. Or at least the last two paragraphs. It says the following: Mr. Charby explained that Balenciaga's recent pushes in the cost-centric fashion were driven by creative director Demna Gavaslia. Since joining the label, the designer has helped Balenciaga gain hype, which the CEO said comes with the responsibility to promote its values. While this messaging could be seen as alienating to certain customers, Mrs. Charby said that the brand is not seeking out controversy. Along with social causes, companies are wading into sustainability, looking to change the status quo. So in 2018, this was already mentioned. On the website, they have several parts. There is no real page that's dedicated to their vision, mission, and goals. But they have different information all over the website relating to the cost-centric things they do within the brand. Starting with the part of their commitment to empowering of their talents, people they hire. So they say the following: Balenciaga is committed to empowering the imagination of all talents. Our mission as brand and as a company is to promote creativity by supporting talents from everywhere. And it is the reason why we want to collaborate with people from diverse locations, experiences, and backgrounds.
Okay.
This website is dedicated for creative talents applications. At this stage of the recruitment process, please note that Balenciaga does not accept any portfolio, including personal work, but instead inspirational mood boards and existing and publishing works and material. So this is for them you can apply to collaborate with them. The second part is less important, but it's the first part I want to highlight here. So their goal here is to promote, empower imagination of all talents and promote creativity. So that's point number one. They also talk about sustainability, which they continuously say that throughout the interviews, but also on their page. So they keep reminding you what they stand for as a brand. Our approach to sustainability. Aware and convinced of the challenges linked to sustainability, Balenciaga has acted to reduce environmental impact of its creativity and activity while pursuing progress within fundamentally important social issues. We are committed to the sustainable and ethical management of our operations. Okay.
Okay.
The goal of reducing our environmental impact and influences our decisions at all levels and all locals, whether at office and store or along the supply chain. We respect high standards for social ecological responsibility. Balenciaga is also fur and exotic leather free. What we do. So this is basically the why. They are basically explaining their why. What we do. For several years, Balenciaga has committed to reducing its footprint within the design, production, and processes of its collections, and as well as its offices, events, stores, and packaging. For example, by introducing more responsible, recycled, upcycled materials in lieu of others. The remaining carbon emission generated by all of our activities along the supply chain in scopes 1, 2, and 3 of the GHG protocol are carefully calculated. And we commit to invest funds into carbon removal projects that protect and restore the natural ecosystems. In addition, we have chosen to partner with Reformstum and raise awareness about carbon footprint associated with every e-commerce purchase by sponsoring 3 dedicated agroforestry projects in South America. Agroforestry projects in South America. I said Afro, and then I continued reading. I was like, oh, that's not correct. But anyway, in South America, Asia, and Europe, by implementing innovative techniques and textiles without compromising creativity. The house is also educates its audience on the possibilities of sustainable practices in luxury. Did you know that Balenciaga exists more than 100 years?
No.
They do.
I actually thought it was a brand new company.
No, they are not.
So if it wasn't for Kanye,
probably you wouldn't even know they existed.
No.
A lot of people.
I didn't
At
know
least
that
the new
at all.
generation.
Yeah. Wow, didn't know that.
But for over 100 years, Balenciaga has been recognized as a major, unique, and legitimate house in fashion and luxury by offering uncompromising creativity. It is with the same high standards as the house consistently reinvents itself in order to answer the environmental and societal changes with which we are constantly presented. So basically, they are very in this whole part. They are basically saying continuously they are very socially aware, ecological. They try to minimize the.
Well, I know, KaiR, you wanna. I like the way. I like the way you're formulating it, but they want to say that they're woke. That's what you want to say.
Well, apparently, woke is these days also a dog whistle. I don't know if you see that video on Instagram.
No, I didn't. No.
Well, apparently it's a dog whistle these days for other things. But okay, let's use the word woke. Let's use the word woke. They are aware that they are awoke. Are they awoke or are they woke? Which one is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's one of the two. Anyway, so they are very sustainability centered, as already shown on their. So everything they like I said earlier on the Instagram page. They basically keep reminding you everything they are doing.
Yeah.
Because in the website, they also talk about their support for Outright Action International, which is a LGBTQ organization. They are basically supporting them. They also support Earth Day, which is celebrated on the April 22nd. They have other parts on their website which shows that they are also I can even go to that. They are also with the WFP World Food Program. They focus on with their collection about on fighting global hunger, etc. So they are very socially and let's use the word woke.
They're woke. It's woke, man.
I'll use your wording. I'll use your wording.
It's woke. That's what they want to convince you of. You know, all
With,
these.
with
That's
all
what
that being said,
yeah, continue.
RJ, to wrap this part up of the show, which relates to Balenciaga, their actions. They said in 2018, we're not looking for controversy. And yet they find themselves in the middle of one.
Yeah.
Their vision, it's clear on the website, and they remind you of as well after they apologized. Guys, by the way, don't forget we do all these things. I gotta ask myself, does Kanye know more than we do? Has he seen behind the scene what kind of duckery is going down? I'm gonna use that word, duckery. You guys know
Yeah.
what I mean.
That's a fair question.
Are their actions conflicting their vision? Let's tackle that one first. RJ, tell me.
Yeah, I definitely think their actions with regards to the scandal is conflicting their vision. That is, if their vision is indeed to save the planet, because that's what it basically says. You want to save the planet. They want to. They're woke, so they want to invest in all these
Campaigns
and charitable campaigns. Yeah, charitable causes,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. But remember what I said last show. And guys, if you haven't checked out last show, you have to. It's about FTX collapse. You're missing out if you don't check it out. But the last show I told you, I believe that you do business for business. I believe charity is when it comes out of your own pockets. When you do it from the company, you can argue that it's for tax purposes. So and it's good, but that's not charitable enough. That being said, you can do all these things right. It's like Kanye, right? Let's take it to Kanye. Kanye did all these things right for Balenciaga, made Balenciaga pop off. With one tweet, he lost everything. Should we treat Balenciaga differently?
Are you asking me, or is it a
It's a rhetorical
question? I thought it was, but you looked at me like.
Yeah,
you always look that way. You always look that way. I'm sorry.
I was going for the dramatic pause.
Okay.
But yeah,
I screwed it up. I'm sorry.
No worries. But yeah, I mean, they probably will get treated differently because, of course, what Kanye is being accused of. Well, I don't know which one is worse, actually. Oh my. We're entering into this conversation. I don't know which one is worse. Kanye is being accused of hatred against a group of people.
Yeah, hatred, yeah.
And these people are Balenciaga is being accused of
exploiting children.
So I don't know which one is worse.
Please leave it in the comments. Let us know.
Guys, let us know which one is worse.
Which one do you think is worse? Or are they even
comparable?
They are even comparable. Yeah. Maybe we should cancel all of them.
maybe we should. But which one is worse? And Kanye can argue that he had churches, he had a lot of things going on, he helped a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's let's say the gravity of the mistake you made. I think to be honest, I didn't think that Balenciaga would survive without Kanye, or at least no, I should change it. I didn't think that Balenciaga would thrive without Kanye. That being said, I do see them sponsoring. So Nicole Kidman, you mentioned, I see, and a
Kim,
lot of
Bella Hadid. I mean, they have been existing for 100 years, so
yeah,
I think they will exist
yeah, that's true. But
a
let's
couple
say,
of
so that's
years
why I
more,
use,
but
yeah, that's why I use the word thriving.
yeah.
You know what? Who I also believe has a deal with Balenciaga. It's you know, the YouTuber Country
KR?
Wayne. No, Country Wayne.
Does he also have a deal?
I don't know if it's only him, but one of the guys on that show, Mike, he always has a Balenciaga shirt. So I do think that you don't do that.
I hope he has a deal. I hope he has a deal.
I
You know how
think
rappers are, you know, right?
no, but Country Wayne is about that money. He knows what he's doing with that. So I do think that he has a deal. But yeah, I mean,
Maybe we should ask him. Let's invite him to the show.
yeah, I don't think he has the time. Let's get our subscribers up, guys. Let's go. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. Please like the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are really appreciating your support. We are seeing as well the positive effects of your support. We are gaining a lot of views every week, but we do want to get our subscriptions up. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so. We really and greatly appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so but to get back to to finish up my rant, it's like, yeah, who I think that Balenciaga, well, if you have Nicole Kidman, these people still supporting you because Kanye does, like, a lot of people pulled away from Kanye. And there are people who do support him, but I don't know if they put their money where their mouth is. And so, yeah. But finally, just to answer your question, I do not think that
the action are conflicting their vision. That's obvious.
I think their action, yeah, definitely.
Is this leading them up a blind alley? The alley Kanye has predicted.
I'm more inclined to believe that I'm more inclined to agree with Kanye that in 5 years we would still know Kanye. He probably would still be the center of a lot of news articles, but Balenciaga will not. Not saying necessarily that they wouldn't exist, but I do think that they will not be able to survive it.
They will not be relevant anymore.
Yeah, relevant. Yeah.
Only to the richest of the richest, I guess. They're not be really in the minds of our common folks.
No. Just
AKA broke. I cannot say the word. Broke mother duckers.
If you're gonna say it like that, you might as well just say the word, man.
Duck Down Records. Anyway, yeah. So that's the part of Balenciaga. I think it's clear that for them, it's the actions are not aligning with the vision, and this is leading them. This is the first step. I mean, it's always a slippery slope. A lot of times, if they don't pull it together, it can be the first step to the end of the road, as Boyz II Men once sang.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I always have good one, man. Well, what are you talking about? By the way, I'm close, guys. Before I continue with the second part of our show, which is Danny Brown on the powerful on the powerful podcast of Joe Rogan. I'm close. I've announced that I have a how you can convince your girl to take the DNA test. I'm close. I'm making
cool.
good progress.
Yeah.
This is like a detective kind of work, trying to patch everything together. So I'm very
Right.
close. Other than that, let's continue with the second part of the show, which is Danny Brown. Danny Brown went to Joe Rogan show and discussed a number of things, and one of them was him talking about the downside of rap. The downside of rap. Let's see what he was discussing during the show.
What made that bad is that I started a little too old. So I didn't really get recognition or, till I was 30 years old. And you got to think I've been trying to do this my entire 20s. So when I started to be a rapper or get recognition for it and being that, I had a bitter attitude towards it. You get what I'm saying? Because it took so long for it to happen.
That happens a
and
lot.
then now I'm 30 years old. As a 30-year-old rapper, it's like how it's like a ticking time bomb at that point. Like how much time you got.
Really?
So I'm already in my head. Like I will say, a lot of people say like being a rapper is dangerous, like, because all the killings and shit like. But I would say being a rapper is dangerous in the sense because once you do it, you can't do nothing else. It ruins you.
Would you say that?
Well, I'm not a rapper, but I'm curious. I'm curious to hear where he's going, because I do believe that I don't think that being a rapper. So if you would ask me, without me
exclusively being a rapper.
Yeah. So if without having seen this clip, so I don't know what he's going to say next. But if you tell me being a rapper is dangerous, I don't believe that being a rapper in itself is dangerous. I do believe that if you're a rapper in a particular genre, that could become dangerous, especially if you're into gangster rap and what's it called? I think it's called ops. They rap about their ops, something like that.
Yeah.
Like
you mean drill rap?
Yeah, drill rap. Yeah, so that's definitely something I would say that's dangerous. But he's apparently not talking about that. So I'm curious to see where he's going with this one.
Okay.
You. So let's just say you can't do nothing else. It ruins you. So let's just say, okay, let's just say I was a rapper and then it failed. And then I got to go get a normal job.
Well, if anything
but I had
fails,
minimal success. You saw my video somewhere. I had a couple views. Yeah. And now I'm working at a job with you. Now you're like, oh, you, blah, blah. Yeah. So that, and everywhere you go, somebody, you was a.
That's true. If
so
you're
you
an actor
always
too.
recognize.
But that's true if you're
so
an
you're
actor
always
too.
getting acknowledged for your failures.
But that's true
every
with
time
anybody
someone.
in the public
So
eye,
just
man.
imagine every time someone recognizes you, they're acknowledging your failure. That hurts. It hurts.
Of course it does. But that's what happens in all walks of life. Anytime when you fail and people get to shit on you, and if you work
fries at McDonald's, no one cares.
Don't you remember Gary Coleman?
Nigga,
Gary Coleman from Different Strokes? Yeah, he started working as a security guard and people would just shit on him relentlessly. I'm like, imagine that. Because if he was just a security guard, no one would care. You would never walk up to a security guard and go, look at this fucking loser. You're a security guard.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So
it's the same thing with actors.
So me being Danny Brown, I can never go back to being I can never go back to being Daniel.
Danny, you don't have to, first of all, and don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. You don't have to. You're never gonna have to do that. I know what you're saying, but you can't think about like worst case scenario and dwell on it like that.
Now you have more context.
Yeah, I don't agree I understand what he's saying. I don't agree with the word dangerous. Um, so I think it's not dangerous to be a rapper,
In
as
this
he's
context.
referring to. Yeah, in this context, no. It's probably it can be inconvenient to be a rapper. I would also argue that it depends what type of rapper you are, what type of genre. But all in all, what he's talking about is people might shit on you and say, "Yeah, well, you didn't make it. You tried and you didn't make it." But I'm that person who would say, "Yeah, I'd rather not try and not make it than to not try at all." You know, there are more people doing that. More people not trying at all due to the fear of failure than people are actually trying to get somewhere. And yeah, that's my point of view on the matter. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
Well, I think I look at it the same way. A lot of people, a lot of times, don't go for the thing they have in their head, that career they want to. They play it safe. They don't make the right moves. But then, when someone tries to do the best they can, they will be very critical of them
Yeah.
and try to, as I think it was Danny or it was Joe who said they try to shit on him.
Yeah.
Even if you failed. So, for example, the Gary Coleman example he gave. I don't know if you guys remember Gary Coleman. He was Willis, I think. He was Willis in what's the series? Different
Uh,
Strokes.
I don't think it's called. What's different strokes? Guys, let us know in the chat if you
Yeah,
can.
let us know. This is far before my time.
Wait,
man.
this is before my time. What you talk about, Willis?
Different Strokes, yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez,
okay,
Kobe.
yeah.
Different Strokes. Let me share my screen real quick with you guys, so you can see. For those who, from the newer
Might not
generation,
know.
who don't know
Yeah.
who Gary Coleman is, this is Gary Coleman. This is Gary Coleman from Different Strokes.
Yeah.
What you talk about, Willis? He was a child star. Made good amount of money during this time, but the big problem he had was his parents were not managing his money correctly, and basically blew it. They blew his money, and he had to suffer the consequences of this. And what is even worse is the people who are basically taunting him because of this. Tells you what kind of people they are.
I think it was in the Jeffersons too, by the way. That's where I know him from.
Let me see real quick. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman was part of Different Strokes. Hello Rally, Facts of Life, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Let me see if I can find Jeffersons. Yeah, the Jeffersons.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
I never watched Different Strokes. Is Different Strokes the one where you had all those actors that ended up becoming famous?
It
Jamie
had
Foxx, Jim Carrey, and stuff. No, that was in Living Color.
Living
yeah,
Color.
that's a different color.
Totally different.
Yeah, that's a different show. Yeah, proceed, man. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, so that's clear. Let's continue with the clip of Danny Brown talking about his career.
You are a personality, and a personality can do anything it wants to do. You're a fun guy.
I think about that, and I love that too, because you got to think the last album I put out was 2019.
Yeah, you were saying that,
and
like
that
you're
was
still, you're touring infrequently.
No, I worked on that album with Q-Tip, from just to be able to work with Q-Tip, which is such a fucking big deal to me.
For sure.
And it gave me confidence in my music, to be in the fact that A Tribe Called Quest was my dad's favorite rap group. I remember my dad taking me to fucking preschool. I mean, wasn't that whatever. But elementary school, my dad taking me to school, and he listening to A Tribe Called Quest. And before I know it, one day I'm sitting in the studio with Q-Tip every day, working on the album. So it was it was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It was a big deal for me. And, we made that album, and I guess the world of music have changed so much. Where like a 10-second TikTok beat means way more than you putting out a single. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that whole shit changed. So the way I grew up, like me, my favorite rapper is Nas. And Nas just put out a new album, and that album is fucking amazing. And you know why that album is amazing? It's because Nas is having fucking fun. And Nas is able to make music without any fucking... You gotta think.
Well, Nas is really rich. Like, he's got a bunch of
It
different
wasn't always
businesses.
like that, though.
No, but I'm saying, like, right now, if he's doing rap right now, it's because he wants to do it.
Yes, but it wasn't...
Yeah. I've listened to that album, by the way. It is really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, KD3. I have 1, 2, and Magic. It's a collaborative album with Hit Boy, one of the best producers out right now. And I have KD1 on LP. I have KD2 on LP. I have Magic, which is also collaborative between them two. Have that one also in LP. Final. And guess what? I think I'll buy KD3 as well on Final. Yeah. I'm gonna keep that streak going. I hope he doesn't go to KD30. They are now at 0.4. Otherwise, I will be blowing too much money these upcoming years. But it's a great album. But I think there are not a lot of people within hip hop who are in the space of Nas. Meaning that they are making music for fun. He doesn't have to make music. Another person who was also in that space is Jay-Z. He doesn't have to make music. He's just doing it for fun. He just comes in, records a couple of bars, and goes home to his kids.
Yeah.
Being that.
Would you say Eminem as well?
I don't know anything about Eminem.
You never.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I stay away from Eminem. Never was one of my favorites. I think Eminem, if I would say probably as well, but because he made a lot of money, but Eminem is. I think. From what I know, Nas made a lot of money investing in startups.
Okay.
He has a pretty nice portfolio of startups he had invested in, and that's why he's in the space he's in right now. And Jay-Z also made good amount of money with the deals he had, and also founding his own label and then selling it afterwards.
Well, I think to react to the video, I think what Joe Rogan is telling Danny Brown as well is, or at least that's how I interpret it, is that his personality is basically what's appealing to his fans and audience. Yep. And he can leverage that in different ways. So not only think of himself as a rapper, but he can transition to, for example, to any type of content creation.
He has.
He has, yeah.
He
What
has
did you
his
say?
own podcast. He has his own
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah.
Danny
Yeah.
Brown
So
Show.
yeah. So okay. So that's I didn't know that, but so I think that's what Joe is saying. Like, so using his own, so Danny Brown's own example, he's saying, well, guys, well, man, listen, you shouldn't you shouldn't limit yourself to a job. Let's say, if I don't make it, then I need to get a job, because you have the fame and notoriety to actually, start something for yourself and get big with it.
And the personality, guys. I've been listening to Danny. I've listened to Danny Brown
For a long while.
for a long time. For a long time. I remember. I've been. Anyway, I'm not gonna dive into, but Danny Brown is a very fun guy to listen to as a music listener, hip hop listener. You'll be delighted at the things he says. It's not. He has a lot of funny punchlines, and he is always fun. And he's a fun character. You will see that also later. Let's continue watching the video. Of course, I need to press it on this one.
Always like that. He
Right.
had the
Of
whole
course.
situation of what he went through
Oh
with his
yeah.
divorces and all. But I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah. It's all public.
yes,
He's
it was-
the best lyricist ever, in my opinion. His fucking shit is so complicated. The way he does things back. What's that one song where he does backwards?
Rewind.
Rewind.
Hmm.
That's a brilliant
Yo,
song.
you want to have this comment, bro? We don't want to talk about this. Like,
Just for me. So
Nas is like, and I've had the opportunity to meet Nas a lot. Like, I wouldn't say a lot, but he knows what he means to me. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So actually, he wanted to sign me to his label. I didn't sign to him because, I mean, whatever. I mean, money, man.
Yeah,
Money,
I get
man. The other contract was more money, man.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
that's what it is. But sometimes I think about that. Did I make a mistake? Be like, damn, just because the artist that I looked up to my entire life that made me be a rapper tried to sign me, and I didn't sign with him, all because of money.
Mm.
And now, like, I'm not saying like I feel any way about being with Warp. Like, I love Warp. Warp is, they've done part 2. Warp has made me a better artist than what I actually am.
How's that?
Because
His actions here, he chose money above. I won't say it was his vision, but maybe a desire,
Passion, maybe.
passion. Being signed by your favorite rapper of all times, I think that would be very high on your list. It's a recognition of your talent.
Yeah.
In this case, I wouldn't say his choices might have led him into a blind alley, because he still has a driving career. I think it's more the first part of the question. His actions, were they contradicting against what he's aiming for, what he was aiming for, to be signed, or at least to have. I mean, he's been recognized by Nas, so. But being signed to his label, was it conflicting not to go for that?
I think hindsight is always 2020, right? And he got money. So, of course, I always say to people who say, yeah, they use examples of people who maybe strived to get a lot of money and afterwards had regrets. For example, because their kids hate them or things like that. And I always say it's relative, because let's be honest, KR. You know how many people there are who have not do not have money and still have regrets and resentment. So the chasing the money is not the thing. I do think that there comes a certain point in time where you are financially satisfied,
Secured.
yeah, secure. But I'm using the word satisfied in the sense that, because secure is like satisfied has the emotion to it. You know, secure is just like it's like the
It's more
financial
number based.
yeah. So, and then you start doing things that you like. You start doing more things than you like, instead of things that you have to do. You can actually start financing a certain lifestyle because you have the money, right? Instead of having to live a different lifestyle due to the money, you know? And that's when you want to have fun. And I think that Danny Brown might be in the space to have where he wants to have fun. So where fun is a definite, it plays a huge role in his choices. So perhaps if Nas offers him a deal now, he would say yes. But you can argue that he's in a different space than he was when the deal was offered. Of course, you might you know there are always things that will leave you wondering what if, but yeah, I don't think I don't know I don't know everything about, let's say, Danny Brown, at least not during that time, and so I can't speak for him, but I do think that there was a reason back then why. There must have been a reason why the money was more important. Do you get what I'm saying? Does it make sense?
Yeah, of course. You make sometimes choices that at that time make sense, but hindsight, like you said, hindsight is always 2020, and you realize that maybe it wasn't the best choice.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
It's like, okay, it's even up. Like the album that I made an album during COVID, obviously. We were sitting around when nobody could do nothing. And I just felt like, oh shit, I ain't. So I just started going to the studio and just started recording songs, making music, record an album. And this is the album that we're gonna release. But the album been done for like 3 years. Like, you know? And
Well,
so
what's been the holdup? You don't know? So it's all on them?
that's what happened when you sign the record labels.
Oh, Jesus.
Bro, you want to hear, bro? All right, you want to hear? All right, let me give you my rundown story. I might need
3 years?
I might need another drink.
I think you need another drink.
Might need another drink. Yeah. All right, so check this out. Danny Brown, being a regular rapper from Detroit, whatever. Fuck. All right, whatever.
Cheers, sir.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm not even gonna go into Tony Yayo and G on it, all weird shit. Just get to the point of. So I remember it's a festival in New York at the time. Was called CMJ Festival, which was like cool. It's like, you know, same thing as South by Southwest, what it is to Texas. That's what it was for New York. They had this festival, CMJ Festival, and at one of these shows they had at Brooklyn Bowl, Fools Go Records, through a show. And Kanye showed up, and it shut.
Kanye again. Kanye always shows up.
Yeah.
There he is.
Wherever you go, there he is.
There he is. Oh man.
Shut the whole shit down. Like,
Might as well.
and I couldn't go.
Might as well call him Darius.
I couldn't get in. I was like, and to me, I was like, man, Fools Go Records, like, man, they like the illest shit. Like, if I could ever be cool with Fools Go Records, like, whatever I can do to be down with Fools Go Records, I would do. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit. So then shit goes on, years. I ended up getting a situation. I started talking to Fuzgo, and I don't think they were really into signing me at the time, but Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest was real close with A-Track, who's one of the owners of Fuzgo, and they hung out, and A-Track.
A-Track is a legendary DJ, by the way.
Right.
Just for you guys get a little bit of context. Q-Tip is the face of the Tribe Called Quest. One of the there are three guys, and he's also the main rapper of the group.
Track was like, man, we thinking about signing Danny Brown. And Q-Tip was like, nigga, thinking? Are you retarded? Like, this is one of the illest things. He broke it down to him like, what makes me so ill? Which we can talk about.
That has to be nice.
No, I'm literally like super ill. Like when it comes to like rap, like it's like cheating. Like I'm like steroid. Like it's super ill. Like I can cheat. Like it's super ill. So then he was like, fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna sign it, cuz. So then I already knew I was gonna get signed to Fuzgo. We already had this to each other. So it was no negotiation on what the shit was. So I was going in interviews already. Like I would do interview and they'd be like, what's gonna happen? Boom, boom. And I'd be like, oh, I'm signing to Fuzgo. So boom, to say that, we signed a contract. I signed for $5,000. Literally $5,000. And it was South by Southwest happening the next week. And I had like 2 shows. So I literally spent the entire signing bonus at South by Southwest the next week. So I had no money, super broke, whatever the fuck. I'm living off my girl. You get what I'm saying? Like her banking on me making it as a rapper kind of situation. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we do whatever we do. We get that. But then the album comes out. And at the time, no one really thought about the album. I would think I did. But at that time, no one thought that the album would be like a big deal. End up the album come out at one fucking album of the year in Spin magazine. It ended up being one of the best albums I ever had in my career. Like, but when you think about it, it's like a person back against the wall. When you listen to the album, I'm back against the wall.
Right.
And the whole concept of the album is, rap music is all about being young, 20-year-olds. The album is called 30. This is an album about a 30-year-old rapper just now starting to get a break and how he feels,
Yeah.
So yeah, and the album did good. It did good.
Congratulations.
It did good. I'm saying not like sales wise or anything like that, but culturally, it did good, and
It got recognition.
so I was able to get a lot of shit from that, and I got a lot of deals and signed a lot of shit, and then my next album after that was Old. It's called Old, but that charted Billboard. But it was a lot of money. Like I spent, it was a lot of money spent in that. I say that to say this, okay? As me, as a kid from Detroit, got good at rap. All right, I know how to rap. A record label signs me. I rap for this record label, make an album. In my head, as when you start to make music, you want to be as experimental and to be you as much as point. You don't understand this the thing called music business. So you're not thinking about business.
You're just thinking about art.
I'm just trying to make the best. Me, Illmatic was the greatest album I ever heard in my life. So to me, it's like Illmatic, and the other one is Cannibal Ox, Cold Vein. Like, so to me, it's like I'm trying to make albums to mirror those. I'm just trying to, like, as me as a rapper, as an artist or a musician, just trying to, like, shit that I was influenced by, like, try to make a piece of art that could stand next to that. You get what I'm saying? But at this point in life, now that shit don't matter no more. Because there's too much money to be made behind this shit. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't care about this shit. And then now.
So do you think that by trying to make something that stands next to that, somehow or another, you'll lose money?
Definitely.
How come?
because time changed.
Time changes how?
The shit that we liked in 1994, we don't like it in 2004.
I still do. I think there's a lot of
we
people
do,
that still
but we
do.
got to think about the kids.
Dude, I still listen to Cool G rap.
Have you listened to Playboy Cardi?
No.
See?
Well, I'll listen to anything.
Are your actions conflicting your vision? We have seen in recent years not only mainstream artists gaining a lot of traction and also monetary gains. There have also there there are also others within the genre of hip hop that have been paving their own way in a sense. The question is, are your actions conflicting your vision? If you have a vision in general for a artist as an artist and you decide to sign to a major label, the chances are you will probably make music that's not aligned with your vision because the major label is trying to make money, as Daniel already said.
There's something, I don't know if it's something with your mic. Every time you speak,
What happens
like something is moving. It sounds like something is moving.
now?
It's not the volume or the voice. The volume was good, but it's just the.
Give me a second.
So it's just like something on your tape, on your desk or something, maybe.
Hello?
Yeah?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah?
Without having problems?
Now, yeah, I can't hear anything now.
Where was I? Yeah, so as a rapper, you sign to a label, and the label, major label, might have different vision than yours. Their vision is basically always let's make as much money as possible. But you also see that what I don't agree with, not totally agree. I mean, he's an expert in this because he's an artist himself. But what you also see, there is I wouldn't say counter culture, but there are other ways to make the music you want to make. And also have the financial gains with that. You don't have to. They always say use this word. I hate to use it, but let's use it for lack of better alternatives. Sell out your vision. In a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we can name guys like Tech9 who has been making for more than 20 years now, has his own label, does everything by himself, and has made a lot of money with his vision. Just by aligning his actions with his vision, he didn't end up in the blind alley. But if your actions contradict your vision as a rapper, you might really end up in a blind alley.
Yeah.
Because when the contract is up and you're not sticking, as in you're not being, your music isn't selling because you're not relevant anymore, the label might drop you. First of all, they sign you for a cheap number, for a very low number. After that, they drop you, and then you're stuck on your own. You have to restart everything again. RJ, would you say that people should choose their vision. Well, I'm not gonna make it a all or nothing, because I can ask you, should you always choose your vision above, well, above money? But that's not the right question. Should you always at least align your actions with your vision, or have a plan tied to that? So let's say you sign as a rapper first with a you finesse a label and gain the supporters out of that, and then turn that into something else. How should you someone go about that to align their actions in this case, to not end up in a blind alley?
Yeah, I think with regards to something like that, it's good to have, if you're a creative, you want to have the creative freedom. And to have the creative freedom, sometimes you need to say, no, it's like, it's all about leverage. So I would say it's, do you want to keep grinding on your own, keep trying to make it on your own, or do you want to use someone's platform? Nowadays, you see that, I was at the beach a couple of months ago, and a song was playing. And I was told that the song is apparently like a summer hit, but that it was from a TikToker or a YouTuber who dropped it, and now it's like a summer hit. So he's getting all the earnings, everything for him. Yeah, of course, the platforms, he would need to pay something, but at least it doesn't need to go through a
Label.
Now, if you have that leverage, then, or if you're willing to work for that leverage, sacrifice for that leverage, then by all means do that. But when you're, let's say, working hard year in, year out, and comes a point in time where someone offers you
The pot of gold, or at
An
least
oppor-
what you think is a pot of
an
gold.
opportunity, then you're,
Okay.
you're likely to take it. In my mind, and I don't know why, well, as I understand the music business, from what I understand, when a label signs you, they will give you money, but that money is basically a loan, which you would need to pay back.
Yeah.
So, and if your
recoup.
albums don't sell enough, you're in debt. And if your album sells just enough, or let's say a lot, you really need to pass that threshold for it to be profitable. But if you hear like a lot of things that, like, these labels, they decide when they're gonna drop your album. So maybe you think the streets are hard now, and we need to drop it now. But if the label tells you, well, no, then it's gonna be very difficult for you to. I mean, it seems like you're in a golden cage. That's what it seems to me.
Well, sometimes it's not even golden.
Sometimes it's
Copper.
It's copper cage. Yeah. Sometimes it is. Yeah. So I think definitely that my preference, I'm a long game type of person. So my preference would always be to keep pushing, try to do as much as possible on your own or with your own team, or to strike deals where you have, because you have certain labels which are not mainstream labels, but where you can, let's say, keep a bigger part of your money. So I would say try to do that. That would be, it's very easy to say because it's a difficult and competitive area, of course, but that would be my advice, especially if you're a young person. If you're older, then I do understand you don't have that time to grind as much as possible. What you're also seeing now, KR, is, for example, NBA players.
Releasing music.
They have their podcasts. No, they want to do something profitable.
Okay.
So they have their yeah. NBA players, they have their own podcasts, Why not? Start branding
early.
start branding yourself now.
Everyone
I remember Draymond Green, who got into an altercation, and while the mainstream media,
Altercation? Are you talking about altercation on the one-sided punching?
yeah, the punching is what I mean.
Oh, there was a one-side.
Well, altercation, yeah.
Well,
Well,
continue. Sorry.
but so Draymond basically went on his show and gave an explanation. I think he did it more times. Oh, he also did it once where it was the first game, if I can recall. It was the first game of the NBA Finals of last year, if I'm not mistaken. The referees called something or something. I don't recall. Something happened, and he went on his show and gave an explanation. And what's great about that is because it's your content, you can control it. No one's there to ask you. Yeah, you can control the narrative. No one's there to ask you questions to screw you over, Yeah. So, yeah.
Guys,
So that would be my advice.
Put in the comments what the thing that happened during the finals that RJ couldn't think of. Maybe you guys know it. Please put it in the comments.
Yeah.
I think it's also it's double-sided. You can control the narrative as an active player because it has been known to athletes that they always get kind of cornered by the media because they want to run with a certain narrative. But it's also indeed, like you said, it's branding. A lot of people are looking at what happened with Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, for you guys who don't know, he started his own podcast. He quit. He retired as a kicker in NFL to start his own podcast. People said he shouldn't do that. He should stay kicking. His friends are not good friends because they should tell him he should continue kicking. He grinded it out, and last year he got, I think, a $200 million contract with one of the big betting platforms for his podcast. No, not DraftKings, FanDuel.
Oh.
So you can a lot of times you can. I mean, I watch it as well. I'll be honest; it's a very entertaining show. But you can leverage that into during your career and in this case even after to have an own podcast and to bring it back to music. I think that you see guys like Russ, who's a very well-known rapper these days. Seen him also grow as a rapper. Early days when he released his mixtapes, but he basically built leverage. He was grinding a lot of times, releasing music, getting traction to the point right now he's independent, making his own money. He signed a distribution deal, so he has better leverage, of course, to to negotiate, because a lot of times when you're not a known rapper or you don't have traction, they will give you very bad deals, very bad deals. And by grinding, go with your own vision, get people to align with you, have a positive message, because I think Russ's music is very positive. People really like his stuff throughout the world. And look where he is now. He's considered one of the well-known rappers who's actually making money off his craft.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that's our take on the video of Danny Brown, his visit to the Joe Rogan podcast. I think we had a pretty good discussion about this, how you can avoid having a conflicting actions versus your vision as a artist. Try to build your leverage, and when you're in that room, that meeting room, you can ask for more. Otherwise, you might end up in a blind alley.
Yeah.
So we're now at the last topic. Last but not least, our great guy, well, great, one of the reoccurring people we talk about, Kanye. Yay. So I think it was around 4:48 a.m. This tweet went out. Ye will be on cozy.tv/Nick at 10 p.m. Central tonight, discussing his presidential campaign with Nick Fuentes. Guys, last week we talked about this with Corey. Please go watch that show as well. What we talked about, what the vision should be, and what we can expect from the 2024 campaigns. Kanye is starting early. Last time around, he spent about, I think, if I remember correctly, about 13 million for his campaign. And he got, I think, 60,000 votes. I don't know if he had a campaign manager that time around, but it seems like he's taking it a bit more serious this time, because he has, this is, by the way, I think his sign for the campaign, which is a nice graphic, to be honest.
Yeah. It's
Very
the
nice.
it seems like a circle, but it also has something of the infinity symbol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's an infinite ball. But we're gonna show a couple of videos leading to the campaign, which he basically started earlier this year. Oh, well, no, what am I saying? Not earlier this year. This week. Earlier this week.
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done. There are loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you can tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Let me stop that before we get a strike.
Yeah.
So this is the first video for you guys who don't know.
Your loyalist, and when all
This is Milo Yiannopoulos. Guys might have heard of him. About, let's say right now we're 2022, so 7-8 years ago, he was very active on social media. He's a right-wing commentator. He's also a media personality. He became kind of famous as one of the back then, kind of the as a, I would say, gay supporter for Trump. But he was also removed. He lost a lot of things because the things he said during that time. I think he lost his Twitter. He had his own channel. I'm not sure if it was removed, but it was at a certain point. You couldn't really find him on social media anymore. And it seems like he's aligning right now with Kanye. I think to be honest, Milo is a very smart guy, so you might help him in this sense to have a strong campaign from a media perspective. But yeah, we'll have to see how this is going to work out. I don't know if you saw that, RJ, but did you see who was sitting there in the background?
No, I didn't.
Let me go back. I think it was here. I'm not sure if it's him.
I don't think. No, it's not. I don't think. Who do you think it is?
Sure. It looks like Sneeko.
It does look a lot like Sneeko, but I don't think
He
it's
looks a lot like Sneeko. I'm not sure if it's Sneeko.
No, I don't think it is.
But I thought it was. When I saw it, was like, is that Sneeko?
I don't think it's Sneeko.
Would be very weird to link up with Sneeko because he doesn't have a platform anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's Sneeko.
Okay. It's probably Sneaker.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kanye is gearing up. As you guys can see, it has 4.8 million views. So he's getting the eyeballs.
Yeah. Now, viewership doesn't mean votes, of course, guys, but
Well, followers doesn't mean sales as well.
That's true. That's true.
That is true. So I do agree with you on this, RJ. I don't know if you heard, but some female rapper who has millions of followers on Instagram only sold 2,000 copies.
Oh yeah, I recall. Yeah.
So guys, don't don't lose yourself over followers.
Yeah.
Have people who support you,
Yeah.
not for the crazy stuff you put on or the sexy stuff you put on Instagram. You want people that supports your craft.
With support, we mean put their money where their mouths are.
Yeah, not likes. Support isn't likes. You cannot feed a baby with likes. Or yourself, even a baby, yourself. Okay, let's continue with, because before I continue, so Kanye is basically gearing up. He's revving the motor of this car, as he's hinting to run for the 2024. As you heard in the video, he was talking to Trump. He told Trump, he asked Trump whether Trump wants to run. If Trump wants to run as his vice president, this is crazy, dude. Just imagine you're going up, you don't have any political
Experience whatsoever.
experience, and then you go to a former president. Not a random president, Donald Trump, a guy who's notorious about winning.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna ask him to
continue.
You're gonna ask him if he wants to be your number 2. Imagine that. The guts you gotta have. It's not guts. I mean, it's recklessness at this point.
Yeah.
You're just being reckless. You want to say something, RJ, about this?
Yeah, let's see where this goes. I think as I've mentioned in previous shows, I don't think Kanye is down and out. He will definitely come back. I don't see him becoming a president. No, I don't see or let me put it this way: the conditions for him to become a president are not present. What do I believe are the necessary conditions? People must be so fed up with the system that they rather vote for Kanye than someone else. And I don't believe that people are there yet. I don't know if you've seen the Netflix show, Black Mirror is what it's called, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall the one with the voting, where they voted for
the social one?
Yeah, the social media. I think it was a bunny.
Social credits. You mean that one?
The one where Bunny, I believe, was running as. So it was a cartoon, a satirical cartoon. Mm-hmm. So a cartoon that was making satirical jokes about politicians, who then said, "Hey, I'll run for president," and then people started voting for him, and eventually he won. But the character doesn't exist, but it's just because the likes, he has likes and followers. So I believe that's an extreme, but you can extract that basically because apologies. In that episode, you could see that the conditions allowed him to become president, because people were so fed up with the system that they'd rather, it was like, let's vote for the cartoon. Yeah, let's vote for the cartoon. And I think, that's the way.
Kanye is a cartoon? No, just kidding.
I'm saying that needs to, so people I believe that's a mindset people will need to have. No, let's vote for the artist because this system is a joke.
Yeah.
And I believe that those conditions are present at this particular moment for him to become president.
I think anyway. It's let's watch the second video. 1.9 million views.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can continue this without.
And I know we do not try to be in a cancel culture. We've got to hit him in his pockets now because he obviously does not care about the African American culture.
Breaking news from Adidas this morning. The company has announced it will drop Kanye West as a partner. A groundswell of pressure, really. Growing calls for the company to end its partnership with the American rapper and designer, who's now known as Ye. He has made recently anti-Semitic remarks. His behavior has been as well offensive, and the company has cited all of that in severing ties.
So he keeps referring to the 2024. Might have to cut that one out, by the way.
Yeah.
The third video we have is one also.
Kanye West, now known as Ye, was one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He's also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage.
We have got to cancel him. And I know we do not try to be in a cancel culture. We've got to hit him in his pockets now.
I gave him my opinion, to never be hurtful to nobody or nothing like this, and trust in God.
What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say.
Look, I forgive him for the things that he said because I already identified with something's going on that I don't understand now.
Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill.
Listen, okay, I don't think Kanye is crazy at all. I think he's possibly not well.
Harley Pasternak. Pasternak was explaining that West had better stop saying, quote, crazy stuff. In other words, he'd better get back on script, or else he would be severely punished. Quote, second option, if you don't shut up, quote, I'd have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land
forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. This is the way a Hollywood trainer was talking to me to force me to go and apologize, right? But they could control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
It's up.
It's up.
It's up. Is he going to... Is this actually about the presidency, or is he coming for... the people who are trying to close or at least shut him down? Is this?
Well, I don't know where KR went, but he'll be up in a second. I think this is definitely has something. Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Some way I got kicked out of this. What I was asking was, is this more about him getting back at the people who were basically trying to shut him down, or is this about him trying to become a president?
I think that this is. I think he knows that he won't become president. I think this is more of a campaign, part of his comeback campaign. He wants to stay relevant as well, of course. And I believe that's the reason why he's doing what he's doing. I don't know. I think this has to do with attention. So he wants the attention of people.
Mm-hmm.
How many votes that you said he got last time?
About 60,000, I think.
Yeah, so that's
can
not
look
going
it
to
up
be
real
a
quick.
lot more. Donald Trump also ran independent 1 year, I believe. And he got way more votes with the Republican Party than he did alone. So let's see where this goes. I don't see what he's seeing, but I do think that he is seeing something. He is seeing an opportunity.
He got 70,000 votes.
Yeah, that's not enough. So
Trump had 74 million votes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but that's when he was with the Republican Party. He also ran independent, I believe. And when you're running independent, it's very difficult to get anything.
Yeah,
Or at least the presidential election is almost,
two-party.
Yeah. So I don't believe that it's about the presidency. He's not going to get it. I don't think either it's about getting back at the people who did him wrong. I think this is more getting back to where he was financially, status-wise, etc. So this is his comeback, part of his comeback plan. That's how I view it.
Okay. Good. Kanye also went, as he already mentioned, he went to Trump earlier last week with Nick Fuentes. Basically crashed at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago. And went to Trump to basically have a dinner with him. And he brought, as he says, intelligence. The 24-year-old.
All right.
What kind of intelligence that is, but
me neither.
Trump basically rejected his request to run with him in 2024, which means that Kanye will have to run on his own with intelligence. At the same time, it was revealed that Nick is kind of as the media calls him, a white nationalist. And what you already are seeing is that Trump is slightly distancing himself from this whole thing that happened, the whole meeting. Trump basically released the following statement. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, was asking me for advice concerning some of his difficulties, in particular having to do with his business. We also discussed to a lesser extent, politics, where I told him he should definitely not run for president. Any voters you may have should vote for Trump. Don't take my voters away.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got along great. He expressed no anti-Semitism. yo, we are at this point right now that you gotta explicitly say he didn't express any anti-Semitism. And I appreciate all the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? Also, I didn't know Nick Fuentes. Remove yourself as far away as possible.
Deny till you die.
Deny. Whether he knew it or not, I don't know. But one thing I do know is that Trump might not want to run on the far right this time around. He might be aiming for a more middle ground group to win the election he wants to be part of, 24.
Perhaps.
And perhaps, yes, perhaps. While Kanye seems to go much more towards the far right. It's too early to say, RJ, but to ask again the same question of the show. Same question we asked on all three cases. Is Kanye's actions conflicting his vision? I think we talked about this vision for a number of shows now. We know a little bit of where this might be heading. It's not a bad vision, but are his actions leading him up to a blind alley?
I believe that they might. The thing about Kanye is that he sees things that we don't see. And let me put it this way, I don't know what his end game is. I do think that, I think his end game would be to have, to get back financially, but also to have ownership over everything he does from now on. So that would mean clothes. So the campaign would be a reason to, sell clothes, sell albums. We can make a political album. You never know with this guy where he's going. So it's difficult to say. They might lead him to a dark alley, in the sense that sometimes when you believe that he should step back, he doubles down. When you think that he should release pressure, he puts more pressure. And so that's the reason why it's very difficult for me to know whether or not he's going to a dark alley or not. But what I do know is this: you have FU money. Now with FU money, as long as you have FU money, you can do whatever you want. Best believe that all the companies who broke the contracts with him are coming for him. Probably gonna claim that it was due to his actions that they were forced to break the contracts. And they might be right, it might be wrong, but they will end up in court, and they probably will settle should that happen. But that also means, more money is at risk here of Kanye. So he's in troubled water. He does seems happier, I would say, and more peaceful. But it might be just the calm before the storm as well. And yeah, that's all I can say. If he keeps so that's what I was saying. Just to finish my thought on the FU money. As long as he has that, that's good. But if he doesn't have that anymore, if Ye can take care of Ye, if Ye can't look out for Ye, if Ye should have to depend on other people, let's say to survive, and that would be a terrible place to be, because best believe they, and who's they? His enemies, his enemies will, or at least the people who Kanye considers as his enemies, will not show mercy.
Clearly, it doesn't. If you read those texts that was sent to him.
Yeah, we're gonna put you back. What was the word they used?
I can go back. Give me a second.
That's a terrible,
Yo, that was wild. Let's see, where does it say? It was this here. Says second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land forever. Playdate with the kids just won't be the same.
That's terrible, man. That's a threat. That's a threat. If I've ever, and that's a threat if I ever seen one.
Man, that sounds crazy. Yeah, so him aligning with guys like Nick, is this going to be adding to his campaign? Let's say he's serious about running for president. Do you think adding Nick would actually improve his chances, or do the opposite?
I think I don't know yet. I do think that he should be mindful who he's partnering up with. So I don't know enough about Nick, right?
Nick Fuentes.
But I do know this: Kanye can't afford a partnership with anyone who is a white nationalist or something to that extent. Anything, because he can't afford it anymore. He might lose all benefit of the doubt. So he needs to really watch out who he partners up with.
No, I do agree with you on that one. Definitely something he has to be very, very careful with. If you go way to the right, he's gonna box himself in. And in general, where the most people are is in the middle. That's where you eat usually.
Yeah.
Not on the right, not on the left, the far left or far right. You eat in the middle. So being too extreme might not be the way to, might be the way to get attention, but attention is not equal to votes.
No.
So I think we can transition now to the part where we ask the viewers for their opinion. Do you guys think the same? Do you guys agree, disagree with all these 3 points we made in these 3 cases? Do you want to call in? In the meanwhile, I think RJ can, let's say, give a overview of the points we made during the show, so the viewers can think about those points we made and call in if they want.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, of course, thank you as usual for your support. Please like the video, share the video as well with people you think will find the information valid. And of course, the most important thing, please subscribe. We are really striving to get to 1,000 subscribers. We want to do it as soon as possible, but we want to end at least this year with or as strong as possible. So please, if you have not done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. It will really be appreciated. So guys, I'll just give a quick recap of today's show. We started the show by talking about Balenciaga. Balenciaga, who's a clothing company that has garnered great notoriety or great popularity, I have to say, during the last couple of years, predominantly due to their partnership with Kanye West, I would argue, who of course just recently broke off the contract with Kanye due to his tweets, due to Kanye's tweets that were deemed anti-Semitic, are in troubled waters at this moment. And KaiR showed, first of all, a video where Kanye, so it was the interview on the Lex Fridman podcast, where Kanye said that in 5 years, you know, Balenciaga can say whatever he wants, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but in 5 years, people will know Kanye West, people will not know Balenciaga. And it only took a month before Balenciaga seemingly started to crumble down. Balenciaga was in hot waters recently due to pictures they posted of young children, holding teddy bears with BDSM toys, equipment, I don't know what you call it. And it was very disturbing, something that caused a lot of uproar. But not only that, but there were also other pictures with no kids, in which there were other artifacts such as books or pieces of paper with content pertaining to the abuse of children or child, you know what. Balenciaga came out and they seemed to be furious with the photographer. So they're trying to push the blame on other people, not taking accountability. They have apologized, as KaiR mentioned, but to what extent is their apology legit? Seems like they're using more tactics than just apologizing. They're also blasting people with all kinds of messages to convince you that they are very heavily involved in other nonprofit, or maybe a better word would be charitable organizations, causes. And what I pointed out was that the fact that you do all that doesn't take away what you did. And what I challenged is, or what I asked, and what I want to challenge is whether Balenciaga should also be canceled, like Kanye. Kanye posted one tweet and lost his deal. Maybe Balenciaga should also get canceled. Then again, Balenciaga didn't double down on their. Okay. But that's that. Afterwards, we transitioned to the Danny Brown. I was going to say Bobby Brown. To the to the Danny Brown interview on the Joe Rogan podcast, where Danny Brown basically talked about a lot of things, amongst other things, claiming that rap is dangerous, not dangerous because of there are risks for your, there are risks for your life, but he's talking more, he was referring more to the fact that if you don't make it as a rapper, and it's almost impossible to get a regular job, because even if you do, people will can start clowning you, or in the case of Gary Coleman, start bullying you. And Joe Rogan told him that he shouldn't look at it like that. His advice was to just leverage his personality to on different platforms, to bank on different aspects instead of only the music. And to that extent, KaiR also mentioned that he has a podcast, the Danny Brown podcast, right?
Yep.
So guys, go check it out as well. Go support Danny Brown. Finally, we talked about Kanye West running for president. I was really looking forward, KaiR, for them to run together. Now, I say that as a joke, to be honest.
I was about to say, all cap. You're capping right here.
No, I was about, but in my mind, it would have been Trump as president and Kanye. No, but it's Kanye was like, no, it's the other way around. Know your audience, Kanye. But let's see where this goes. I believe that it's for Kanye, it's not about the presidency at all. He has a bigger goal. I don't think he wants to be limited as well. Because as a president, you can do whatever you want. So I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think it's part of his comeback plan. But let's see what will happen. I'm curious to see. Follow us, follow our show, because we will definitely keep following this story. That, my friends and co-host, is my recap of today's show.
Thank you, RJ. I think we want to acknowledge everyone who's watching this show live and watching also the rebroadcast. We want to thank you for watching, and also let's hope you can put into the comments what you think about these topics and share your views. We want to learn from them. We want to share our ideas, which we always do, try to do when you guys put things in the comments. So please feel free to add your 2 cents or your 2 million, how you want to call it. Great. I see there are no comments here and there, so I think
And transition.
we can transition to the next phase.
Yes, which is, of course, guys, the last segment of the show, which is KR's random thought of the day. KR, please entertain us with your random thought of today.
My random thought of the day is basically linked on what I opened up with, the World Cup. Sometimes, guys, you only need a spark, someone who can give you the motivation to be the best. Try to have that always in your circle, someone who can push you forward, someone who can challenge you, someone who knows you can do better and also challenge you to do better. I will show a clip of the Saudi Arabia team, the halftime speech of the coach, the passion he gives his players, the motivation, his belief, because he really believes these guys could do it. But he knew that the way they did it the first half was not good enough. I'm going to share the clip with you guys so you can see it for yourself. What actually means when someone believes in you and wants you to win.
Do like you guys, huh? Except Salman, because now he compared with the other one. Oh, what are we doing here? Saleh, hey, this is a pressing. Pressing doesn't mean you will go high. Mati, last time, Messi at the middle of the pitch, he has the ball, you stay in front of the defense.
كورة مع ميسي انت
You want to rally to go to mark him in the middle?
تبغى عليه يخرج يروح يغطيه ويضغط عليه.
Take your phone, you can make a picture with him if you want. Yes, but you are in front of the defense. You have nobody. He's going to follow.
روح اتبع وقفل عليه.
With ball you were good.
بالكورة احنا كويسين.
Did you see what you did?
شفتوا ايش سويتوا؟
You don't feel something here?
ما حسيتوا بشيء الوقت المناسب اللي تضغط فيه وتكسب؟
You don't feel we are able to come back?
ما كان عندك احساس اننا نقدر نرجع ونعادل؟
You don't feel it? They play relax.
قاعدين نلعب مرتاحين.
Come on guys, come on. This is the World Cup.
رجال شباب هذا كاس عالم.
Come on. You don't feel it?
This is to me the point where he's trying to spark that part to hit that small spark.
Yeah.
Don't you feel it?
ما كان عندك احساس المناسب اللي تضغط فيه وتكسب؟
You don't feel we are able to come back?
ما كان عندك احساس اننا نقدر نرجع ونعادل؟
You don't feel it? They play relax.
قاعدين نلعب مرتاحين.
Come on guys, come on. This is the World Cup.
رجال شباب هذا كاس عالم.
Give everything.
نعطي كل شيء.
When you are at the edge of the box, you are like this.
قدام مرمى.
Be like this. Be concentrated.
ركز عشان تسجلها لو جاتك الكورة تكون مستعد انك تلعبها وتسجل.
Kano was fantastic. So all of them like him.
كلنا نلعب.
Allez, come on.
نكون
Be yourself.
يلا حرك نفسك يلا.
The beautiful thing of this is that not only the coach was motivating, even the translator got caught up in these emotions. Guys, try to find within your circle, your team, people who can motivate you this way. I'm not saying you will end up like those players with a Rolls Royce from the royal family.
Because that's what they got.
This is what they got of that win. But guys, it's important to have people who can give you not only being yes men, saying guys you can do better, this and that, but you're doing okay. You have to have people who push you forward, even when things are tough. I think that's basically my thought of the day.
Thanks, KaiR. Short, but very clear. Thank you for that. Guys, we've reached the end of today's show. Thank you thank you goes out to each and every single one of you for your support. Remember to like the video, remember to share the video as well, but most importantly, remember to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe as well. We will keep dropping more and more interesting topics, such as those topics that we have talked about these last couple of weeks. We are in episode 12 now. As we've already mentioned, Is it 11th or 12th? Yeah, 12th. And
12 minus
the
collab,
pilot.
11.
Yeah, the collab.
So
Guys,
technically 13 then.
so 13. We're posting. We're not going to stop. The contrary, we will start upgrading more and more. We've always been improving, and we will keep improving. In 2 weeks, you will see and hear a great improvement. And to all of you who are sticking with us from this point on, from the gutter, the day oneers, thank you so much. You don't know how much we appreciate your support, guys. With that being said, KR, of course, we can't forget the social media. Please like
Man.
and
I was
follow
about
our.
to say, without me, so what are you doing?
Yeah, no, you take it over. You take it over. I was about to screw it up.
Yeah, so guys, like Arj already said, we want to thank you for watching live and rebroadcasting the rebroadcast. Whatever your thoughts are, please let us know in the comments below. Share the video with others, as you already mentioned, and remember to rate the show by pressing the like button. Follow us on all other social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube. And as we always say, have a nice weekend and see you next time. Please.
Peace.